Greetings, peace and love, everyone. Sister Alexis of Divine Notary and Notary Wellness Mentor. I have been having a really hard time with connection, so hopefully we will be okay. So this particular video, I wanted to talk about taxes. So as you know, some of us can get away without paying taxes. Some of us cannot. With being a notary, there are certain stipulations that you have to look after and you have to abide by. And so some of you may have already filed your taxes. I'm not sure. Some of you are late tax filers. Some of you will receive refunds, so it doesn't matter if you file late. But if you haven't filed already and you have been earning money, then you do need to file taxes. Peace, Brother Derek. I appreciate you watching. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about that for as long as we can while I still have good service. So you might want to get a pen and pencil or paper, rather, if you're able to write some of these things down. If you are part of my Notary Wellness Mentor Facebook group, I will post this checklist that I have. It's technically a real estate agent checklist, but the real estate agent and the notary goes hand in hand. Peace, Nolita. Peace, Jessica. It goes hand in hand, so it should be okay. So the purpose of this worksheet is to help you organize your tax deductible business expenses. And as you come in the room, just give this video a like. And I have some other videos that I did not post yet because my service is not good. But what I found out through my analytics is that 60% of people that watch my videos, which within the last 28 days, I had over 17,000 minutes watched. I'm so grateful. But only 40% of the people are actually subscribed. So they watch the videos, but they don't subscribe. So I find that interesting. But in order for you to be watching, you have to subscribe because you got on pretty quickly. So kudos to you and thank you for your time. So the tax deductible business expenses. I'm just going to list off some of the things that are tax deductible that you will write off if you currently have a business, whether you made money or not. If you spent money on these items in 2018, you can write them off. And I know this is kind of like a boring subject, but anyone who's in business knows that this is super important and we have to talk about this. Peace, Brother Charles. Thank you very much. So we have to talk about this stuff, whether it's fun or not. I mean, at the end of the day, we're grown-ups and we have to file taxes. So this is just what it is. So some of the business expenses is broken down into different categories. So some of the professional business expenses that we can file for, and these are considered ordinary and necessary to our business. This can't be something that you use like with your other business and this business, or you share with someone else. It has to be strictly for your notary business. So dues and professional fees, if you are a part of like the NNA, or if you even pay for services from me and you paid me, you can write that off. Liability insurance for your E&O, of course. Your bond insurance is super important that you can claim as well. Legal and professional expenses that you may have incurred during this process. Maybe you got a business license for you. Any other professional licenses, membership fees that you have. I know I have a membership fee to American Association of Notaries, or any publications of any sort. If you filed an LLC for your business versus a DBA, you can write that off as tax deductible. Of course, office expenses. If you have a camera, if you do like photo inspections like I do, I have a separate camera for that sometimes when I actually have it. but you can write the camera off. It has to be specifically for business use only. Your printer, your copier, your business cards, of course. And so it's super important to keep receipts for all of this stuff. And it's not that difficult. You know, sometimes you're like, well, I don't know where that receipt is. If you ordered this online, you have the receipt. And my suggestion is every time you order something, just print out the invoice. Print out the invoice and stick it in your file. If you feel like you're not an organized person in that manner, even if you had one folder or a box, you know, as a tax preparer, people literally will bring in shoe boxes or huge like file boxes of invoices and receipts. It doesn't matter as long as you keep it, because at the end of the day, if you get audited, you need proof. So I'd rather you over prepare than under prepare. So your business cards, any computer software, if like me, I have scheduling apps and you can write that off. Office expenses, I can tell it's breaking up. Office expenses, like your supplies, your stationery, your postage, if you pay for postage, photocopying, printing. There were situations where I had to pay for photocopying, for my printer to get fixed, and I am writing all of that off. Now, if you hopefully you did do some type of advertising, so your advertising expenses, courier service expense, if you had to do an open house or if you offered some form of party for your business, if you ordered signs, flags, banners, car magnets, all of that stuff, yard signs, which I've done, all of that stuff, you write it all off. Your vehicle is hard, and you're gonna get either actual or standard miles, in which will be probably like the standard miles, but you'll need to let them know the year, make, and model of your vehicle, the date that you place that vehicle in service, the purchase cost of that vehicle. And it doesn't matter if you purchased it like years ago. They just need to factor this in to figure out what you actually did and take a percentage of that vehicle, and they do some calculations for it to all make sense. Whether it's owned or financed. And I know you can't see this, but I kind of, maybe you can. This is the form that I am working on, and I would like to put this in the description box, and you're able to click on it and it'll direct you to something else so you can download this. I haven't done it yet. Give me a moment. I will do it. But yeah, don't wait on me though. So you can always go to you can Google notary deduction, tax deduction checklist, and a blank checklist should pop up for you, and you're able to go ahead and print it and start to fill it out. The other thing is, I have it in my car, but I have a mileage log that every time I get in the car, whether it's for business or personal, I do both, that I log my mileage down. And I know it seems kind of like tedious. You just want to get in the car and go, but you are in business. This is very important for us to be anal about this stuff. We have to log everything. I'm telling you, the worst thing in the world, if any of you have gotten audited, I've been audited for the last, I haven't filed this year, but the last like 3 or 4 years. So it is extremely important for me to be very meticulous about what I track, because okay. So with your mileage log, you usually will just write down the date, the description of your travel. So for instance, if I'm going to the grocery store, I'll write grocery store. If I'm going to see a client, I'll write, client and maybe the company's name and refinance, just so I can and the client's name, just so I have an idea of like what I actually did that day, instead of it being very vague. I want to be specific. So if I do have to refer back to it, then it makes sense to me. And then I'll write the miles next to it. And that's pretty much it. And also within my log, there is a place for me to write down gas. Like every time I get gas for that particular trip, I write down the gas that I got. And if I'm getting an oil change, I also will write down the area that I travel to, the miles, and I'll write the oil change amount there. If I'm doing tolls or parking, I write that down. And also if I get a ticket that is related to for me traveling for business, I also will write that down. Any repairs or maintenance or any miscellaneous items, all of that information goes down, and this is called my personal action plan. That all goes down right in there. So anything that I have purchased for my business, everything gets logged down. And the only way that you're going to be nice and organized for your tax preparer, so you're not bringing in, boxes of receipts, random receipts, is to be organized throughout the year. You could use different apps to support you if you're more of a tech savvy individual. I am someone who I prefer to write. I spend most of my life on the computer as it is, and it's very bothersome, and I just want to live in a treehouse, honestly. Like, I just want to live in a treehouse. I want to live in a treehouse in the woods and like wear a sarong every day, but that's not where I am at this point in my life. So in the meantime, in between time, I have to be meticulous about this business. I have to keep good records until I can get my treehouse. And until then, that's just what it is. But that's basically it, y'all. I know sometimes I talk fast. Sometimes I look at these videos and I'm like, girl, I speak fast. I've always spoken really fast. And if I'm speaking slow, I'm really thinking about what I'm saying beforehand. And this is not that kind of topic, because I kind of knew what I was going to say and wanted to get it out the way. So hopefully this will help you. If you need to watch the video again of all the different things that you can write off as tax deductible for your business expense. You will be utilizing a Schedule C. So if you are one of those individuals who use like H&R Block or TurboTax or Tax Act or something like that, and you've never had a business before, you'll see this is like a whole new process for you. You're not going to be on a 1040. You will be on a 1040 if you had wages or salary from a job. If not, you'll just have a single Schedule C. And if you had both, then you'll have both forms, your 1040 and your Schedule C. And you can also write off your tax preparation fees. If you are doing it yourself, most likely the software will have that option where you can enter it in. If you're working with your tax preparer already knows that, and it's really a simple process. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to tell you in reference to that. There are apps where you don't have to keep the receipts anymore. You can take a picture of it, and in the app, it will save it for you. And also, if you're deciding you're not going to use an app, if you're old school like me and you want to save receipts, but those thermal receipts, them smooth receipts, that stuff, that ink disappears on them really quickly, but the IRS will allow you to photocopy it. So you can get in the habit of, if you are going to put it in a shoebox, At the last day of the month, you're going to take all of them out, you're going to photocopy them and file them for that particular month, or you'll go ahead and scan it into your computer. Whatever system you have, get it and use it on a regular basis every month. If you need a virtual assistant to help support you, you can reach out to me and Sister Nolita about that. Sister Nolita, I will respond to you. I did see your message. Give thanks and praise. I'll get back to you between tomorrow and Wednesday if you're still on. And so, yeah, it's a really simple process. We make it difficult. All you have to do is follow the procedure. Follow the procedure. Follow the procedure, create a procedure, and then follow it. And then it's a simple, easy breezy process. If anybody has any questions, I'll answer. If not, I will see you on the next go round. We good? All right, y'all. So you shouldn't have any tax problems this year, and it should be easy breezy. Oh, I take that back. It's something I didn't tell you real quick that I was supposed to tell you. So I wrote it down because even though I know these figures by heart, I don't know why I need to write them down. If you will receive a 1099. A 1099 comes from the company that you're working for. It basically states that you're an independent contractor. You will get that 1099 only if you made over $600. If you didn't make over $600, you will not receive one, but you still have to report that money. If you made over $400, you will not have to pay, you will have to pay self-employment taxes, okay? But if you made under that, you have to report it, but you don't have to pay self-employment taxes. Okay, so I'll just say that again. So if you made over $600, the company that you work for will send you a 1099. If you didn't make over $600, you will not receive a 1099, but you still have to report the money that you made. If you made over $400 in earnings as being a notary, you will have to pay self-employment tax. If you did not make over $400, you do not have to pay self-employment taxes, but you still have to report the money. At the end of the day, basically what we're saying is that you still have to report it no matter what, but there are some stipulations. Some forms you will get, some forms you won't get. So you know how you get your W-2? So you'll get a W-2 form, and then you'll get a 1099 form as well. So, and some companies, when you're a notary signing agent, you're working for, I work as an independent contractor for so many companies, but if I'm not making, over the $600, they're not going to make from each individual company. They're not going to send me anything. I just have to track it myself. And if you're using your journal, that's a tracking method. If you're not using your journal and they have a dashboard, you just print the dashboard every month. So I just got a report right before I started this for my SnapDocs of how much I made this month. So I will go back into my dashboard and I'm just going to print that. I'm going to print it and I'm going to file it away, and then I'm going to log it into my Excel sheet that I have on my computer for my notary business. I feel like such a grown-up, y'all. I know I'm a super grown-up anyway, but when you step into certain levels of business, you're like, this is really serious. This is really serious stuff, and you just have to be really good with your records. And I'm grateful that I'm able to just be on this level. Then that way I can share with you what I'm doing, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and that's it. All right, y'all, got to get ready for the week. Peace and love to you all. I am trusting that you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful week. and that every day you're going to work on your business, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes per day, because you can't work for someone else and not work for yourself. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family to work on your business every single